I'm Chris Saunders. Before we get started, just FYI, on this date, November 13th, 1975, Elijah Obeid made history, capturing the World Boxing Council light middleweight title with an 11th round TKO of Miguel de Oliveira in Paris, France. It was the first title ever for the Bahamas, and we salute one of our heroes, Elijah Obeid, tonight. Talking about saluting heroes, Sunday will be kicking off the National Sports Heritage Week, and 12 people will be inducted into the Bahamas Hall of Fame. That's the sports one, on Friday at the Wyndham Nassau Resort, Cable Beach. Those persons are Cyril Peepsight Johnson, Leroy Skinny Archer, DeWitt Flash Hanna, Lorenzo Donnie Lockhart, Leslie Rusher Cartwright, Eddie Ford, Keith Belzy Smith, Peter Bose Sr., Oscar Francis, Arrington Isaacs, Charlie Butkus Ferguson, Dame Bertha Isaacs, Charlie Williams, and Sir George Roberts. Again, those 12 people will be inducted into the Bahamas Sports Hall of Fame Friday at the Wyndham Nassau Resort on Cable Beach. This morning, a few of the honorees, along with Charles Fisher, at St. John's for a very special assembly.
It was only fitting here in the land of the Giants, St. John's College, where three of the honorees, DeWitt Hanna, Leroy Skinny Archer, and Eddie Ford, made their presence felt, addressing the students before a special assembly.
One of the most lasting things you can do as students and young people is to try to get a very good education. It's very lasting, it's very good. And when you do, seek the best career that you can find, and try to form good and lasting relationships. It will take you very far.
Discipline is the key. Even in your classwork, home, in whatever sport and whatever you do, you must be disciplined. Discipline is the key in your life. As long as you take that discipline along in your life, wherever you go, you would be successful. And I would just like...
Thanks for honoring me, and the best of luck for all those who participate in sports. Thank you.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Dr. Daniel Johnson, also addressing the student body, encouraging the students to play fair.
They inform our lives that we're always reaching for not to beat the other person. You don't have to beat the guy in the lane next to you or the person sitting in the class next to you. You want to be a better you.
Happy to be back in the land of the Giants, my alma mater. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
Got a clap over there. Moving on, it's officially now become a three-man race. Former B3A's president Kurt Hollingsworth announcing his intention to once again seek the top post when the elections are held this Saturday. He feels he's come with a good track record.
I've always been the individual that stood up as a proven leader in tough times. When the Grand Bahama contingent traveled to Nassau to compete in the National High School Championship in Desmond Bannister's first year, an issue arose where many of the Family Islands were not going to be allowed to compete. I led the charge under that regime. At the end of the day, they all were allowed to vote. When it came to the vote of no confidence, it was myself and Kermit Taylor specifically that led the vote. Back in 1995, when Hawk Finlayson served as president of the B3As, Grand Bahama was in a conflict of sort with the B3As. I was the president of the High School Association back home, who made it possible for Grand Bahamians to compete that year at the Carifta. And you know how they competed? Pancho Ramming, Rupert Gardner, and a couple other guys, other coaches, flew into Grand Bahama, viewed the talent that we had. They were named to the team. So fighting for the people and being a champion for the people in track and field and all sports, I've always been there.
Now, earlier this week, we have heard from Harrison Petty, president of the Parents Association, who's actually questioning the constitution of the B3As. But according to Hollingsworth, everything is in place, win, lose, or draw.
The current constitution, which we are governed by, allows for individual executive members to vote. So my position is to support what is right, not what people believe is right. And my interpretation of the Constitution allows me to stand on the legs of what is right. And until such time where it is stated otherwise, my position remained the same. I'm in line with the Constitution that we operate by and we continue to operate by.
Now, with all the rumblings going on about the Constitution and if the elections are legal or if they will even come off, current B3A's President Mike Sands has made it quite clear.
Under no circumstances are the elections being held unconstitutional. We are complying with the terms and conditions of our Constitution, as we always have since inception of the B3As in 1952. Our Constitution is duly filed with the IAAF, and the IAAF recognized the B3As in good standing. In good standing means that they are satisfied that we are complying with all their directives. To date, we have not received any response or any indication from the IAAF that we are not in compliance with the guidelines as set forth by the IAAF. And so we as an executive is very satisfied that we are in compliance with the IAAF.
The elections will go ahead as planned.
As far as I'm concerned, and as far as we're aware, we're making plans to proceed as announced on the 17th at 9 a.m. at the J. Whitney building on Collins Avenue. Elections will proceed as according to plan.
According to plan, again, those elections set for Saturday. ZNS Total Sports will follow that as that develops, definitely. Moving on to some basketball news now. The New Providence Women's Basketball Association on the court right now at the D.W. Davis Gym. On court at this hour, the Saints and the defending champion career builder Cheetahs, who dropped their first game. That game will be followed by the Johnson Lady Truckers and the COB Lady Caribs, who both hope to make a run this season.
I think we could go 5. We put our head together and stick in the game and play as a team.
Honestly, I can tell you, look forward to us in the playoffs. We coming hard and we coming strong, and we can be there. We can be in that top 4.
Okay, cool. Last year we came 4th. I think this year we're gonna finish in the top 3 this year. So we're gonna make one position improvement this year. So I expect for this girls team to do this very well.
You have a better team this year than last year?
Yeah, we have a much better team than last year. We pick up a few veteran players. We pick up Christian Seymour. She played with Moisa Bears, Division 1 NAIA. We pick up Tarana Pike from the Cheetahs, who was one of the perennial good players in the league. And plus our younger girls are now beginning to become a little bit more familiar and comfortable with playing in the league. So you can see a more confident team overall.
That'll do it for sports. I'm Chris Saunders. Your final look at weather is still to come.